Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Astrology News Report, an alternate view of world events as seen through the lens of Vedic astrology, presented by yours truly, Ron Berger. Today is September 6th, 2015, so now we will take a look at the week that was, and how the planets' positions in the zodiac matched up with the past week's events. Venus ends its retrograde period today. Venus is the planet of agreements. When Venus is retrograde, agreement gets held back. Mars has been conjunct Venus for the last few weeks. Mars is the planet of conflict, in other words, not conducive to agreement. The Iran deal, in question for the last few weeks, appears to have become a done deal as of last Wednesday, when the 34th senator agreed to support the Obama administration's Iran nuclear control agreement. This prevents the Republicans from overriding President Obama's threatened veto if they should disapprove of the resolution. Venus is the planet of love. Therefore, marriage is another signification of Venus. Venus with Mars, the planet of conflict, gave us a fight over marriage last week. A county clerk in Kentucky continued to defy a court order to issue marriage licenses to gay couples. Kim Davis, a county clerk in Kentucky, citing her Christian beliefs and God's authority, refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, despite being ordered to by a federal judge. Well, on Thursday, the judge ordered her to be jailed for contempt of court. Deputies at the county clerk's office in Kentucky then issued marriage licenses to 3 same-sex couples last Friday. Venus is the planet of finance, value, and therefore markets. Venus retrograde, while conjunct Mars, continued to roil global markets last week. The extreme situation in the financial markets had other ramifications as well. In an effort to quell the chaos, Chinese authorities went around arresting anyone who had bad-mouthed the Chinese stock market. The arrests included a journalist, along with several stock market officials, according to a Chinese report. Evidently in China, hope is an economic strategy, and if you express an inclination for reality, you can be arrested. And with the 3 unusual planetary conjunctions running simultaneously last week, there was sure to be some new and extreme developments. Heartbreaking photos showing a drowned Syrian toddler lying face down in the sand of a tourist beach in Turkey went viral on the internet last week, once again highlighting the immense humanitarian toll of the refugee and migrant crisis in Europe. This death, along with those of the 71 people found suffocated in a truck in Austria last week, have spurred urgent calls from human rights groups across the world for European leaders to agree on a unified policy to respond to the crisis. The refugee situation got topped off last week by the spectacle of thousands of migrants marching down a Hungarian highway on their way to Austria from Budapest in order to avoid being detained in a Hungarian refugee camp. The Astrology Connection comes from Neptune, the planet of utopia, exiles, and asylum. Neptune has been in Aquarius, the sign of humanitarian action, for the past several years. This year, Jupiter is in mutual aspect with, and therefore exchanging energy with Neptune. Jupiter is the planet of laws and procedures, as well as ethics and morality, and it's in Leo, the sign of leaders and governments. Thus we have the current situation where governments are called upon to use their laws as well as a sense of moral justice to deal with the desperate people fleeing conflict zones and seeking asylum in other countries. Okay, that'll do it for this week's Review of the Week. You can keep up with daily astrological developments and contribute your own thoughts by following me on Twitter at Astro News Report.